You unlock your phone, open your Instagram, and there it is. Your friend at 22 years old just bought a house. How is that possible? I'm struggling here to even keep up with my own bills. How the motherfucker got a house? Meanwhile, your best friend is doing a tour on all countries in Europe. How they have money for that? How they can afford that? And seeing all these people's achievements, we keep thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why am I so behind in life? And that's what we're going to discuss today. A lot of times when we start building this idea of feeling behind in life, the first and most common thing is that that feeling is coming from somewhere. Usually from social media. Seeing what each of our friends have posted, have conquered, because Instagram builds that idea of a perfect life, even though that's not even possible. No one is sharing with us their struggles, their battles, their inner monsters. That's because social media became something so performative these days that it's impossible to find people that are truly authentic. We're never sharing our, inner doubts or difficulties because that's not part of a perfect life that everyone wants to paint on social media. So when you open your app, you are looking to a frame of someone else's life. We're much more than a picture. We're much more than a short video. And that's important for us to create a conscience to destroy this idea of a perfect life. Because again, no one is capable of reaching that. But oftentimes what happens is that you see that fragment, that piece, and you start comparing yourself, right? Because you are maybe at a similar age of your friend or at similar moment in life. And how have they achieved so much? And why haven't I? Now let's switch positions a little bit. You are celebrating something, for example, and you just posted something on social media. Your friend, the same one that you were comparing yourself to, is probably now thinking, why am I missing this? Why don't I have this? Because that's what social media does to us. It brings us this infinity feeling of comparison, of having to perform better or having to show a status that sometimes is not even ourselves. This idea of a perfect life creates illusions to us that makes us feel like we're behind because we're not achieving the same things our friends are. We're not in the same places that our friends are. These leads us to something that became really popular these days on the internet, a phenomenon called FOMO, fear of missing out. Let's understand what is FOMO. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, FOMO stands for fear of missing out, a worried feeling that you may miss exciting events that other people are going to, especially caused by things you see on social media. So you can imagine your friend is at that really cool concert and you're not. Why? I didn't have money to buy the tickets. I didn't even think I was gonna like that concert. But now that everyone is going and is posting about it on social media, I really wanna go. And this is natural. We want to be in places where everyone else is, right? In the beginning of the year, we had Lollapalooza here in my country. And a lot of people were going. And I was like, I really, really want to go to Lollapalooza. I know that they'll be bringing a lot of artists and I really want to go and I really want to have that social experience because last year I saw a lot of people going to Lollapalooza and I didn't. So I booked the tickets, I was really excited and it was exhausting and not so cool as I thought, I got exhausted really fast, it was a long day. At the end of the night when the main concerts were taking place, I was kind of tired already and didn't have the energy to be there or to, give my full self into the moment or live like I imagine or a picture it would be. And my friends on social media, because I posted, they were like, oh my God, this is so cool. I went to Lollapalooza. I saw on TV, it was a blast. And I was like, yes, it was. But, I was tired. And they were like, you're tired? How? I was like, it was a full day. I didn't have the energy anymore. I just, I was done with it. So it's funny to see these different perspectives because something that I wanted so much last year became kind of like, okay, we did it, but I'd rather stay on my couch sleeping. Another thing to consider is that there are different areas that we can have this unsatisfaction or this feeling behind type of thing. Sometimes you feel like you're behind in your career, sometimes in your social relationships, sometimes it's in your studies. I mean, there's multiple areas of our lives where we can feel kind of like, oh no, I'm behind. Fun fact about me, I love tarot. I actually hold and I have like a deck of tarot. And there's one card there called the Wheel of Fortune. And I wanted to bring this card here. I don't have it right now, but I'll put somewhere on the screen so you can take a look at it. And I'll read the definition of the card because I think it's quite interesting. The Wheel of Fortune represents destiny, life cycles, and inevitable change. When drawn, it signifies luck, a turning point, or a fated event outside of your control. It reminds you to embrace life's ups and downs and trust the natural flow of the universe. And I love this card so much because sometimes I feel that's what life is. It's a wheel, you know? You won't have everything that you ever dreamed of. You won't be able to go to all social events everyone else is going to. So I think it's really important for us to start to think, what do I want to prioritize in my life? A lot of people want to buy their houses. A lot of people want to build a family. A lot of people want to travel. What is important for me as a person? A lot of times, this feeling behind is also tied to what people expect of us to be successful. And what you want to do in life shouldn't be attached to success. Also, because the meaning of success can vary depending on who you are. For some people, being successful is to wake up at 8 a.m. To other people, it might be to have tons and tons of money. To other people, it can be related to career, maybe being, a manager or a CEO or something like that. You need to understand that what you achieve in life should bring you satisfaction and not success. Because again, success is something relative to each of us. But satisfaction, it's what really brings us that feeling of joy, of feeling of accomplishment that fulfill us. So don't let those motherfuckers tell you where you should be or what you should be doing, because they are not you. You are the only person who can set yourself up to satisfaction. You are the only person that understands what you like, what you don't, what you want, what you don't. And sometimes it's difficult for us to see that about ourselves because we're so attached to social media, to scrolling, and to compare ourselves to other people that we forgot our true essence. So my advice for you is turn it down, shut it down, your phone a little bit, close your social medias, uninstall the apps, even if it's something that you really like. I understand it can be difficult. It can be exhausting to be outside or away of where everyone else is. But honestly, you feel better. I have reduced my time on screen drastically these past few years. And I know it's difficult. I know that sometimes I really want to see what everyone else is commenting or talking about or finding out what's trending or what's not. But again, it makes us feel, irrelevant somehow or misplaced even. So spend more time with yourself. Explore hobbies, explore things you like. Try to figure out what matters to you and what doesn't in life. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to do tomorrow? Maybe you don't want to do nothing. Maybe you want to take a trip. Maybe, buying a house isn't that important for you now. Right now, you want to focus on experiences. That's totally valid. We are in the middle of this wheel of fortune. Sometimes we're going to want to do something. Sometimes we're not going to want to do that thing anymore. And that's fine because that's our amazing ability of changing minds, of, changing or prioritizing different things in different stages of life. And at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. What do you want to do with your life? Think about it. The only certainty in this life is that we're gonna die. So what do you want to do with this time that you have here on planet Earth? And yes, a lot of people are buying houses, a lot of people are taking trips. You might probably even compare yourselves with your parents. That's something that a lot of people do nowadays. When my parents were my age, they had a house, they had kids, they had a lot of stuff. Honey, we are in the middle of a crisis. There is no certainty anymore. People are dying, there's wars everywhere, world is going crazy, there's economical, political instability in a lot of places. Our parents certainly didn't have all of this. They certainly didn't have so many uncertainties in their lives at that time. They didn't have inflation. They didn't have like environment issues. They didn't have global warming as we do right now. And all of these crises, they come and they make things even more difficult for us. You know, a lot of people don't get to get jobs so fast anymore. A lot of people are taking more years to save money and buy their houses or pay for their studies. So don't put yourself in that position of like, oh my God, I have to have everything figured out right now, because that's just not possible. Start by finding out what matters to you, what you want to do, what will bring you satisfaction. Even if that thing is not like what other people are doing right now, it needs to resonate with you and anyone else, trust me. So I ask you, what do you want to do now? You know, you want to still compare yourself on social media? Oh, I think that's a really difficult battle. Don't spend so much time in there. Go live your life while you still can. You know, a lot of times we die while you're crossing the street and then, you know, I didn't do all the things I wanted to do. I didn't do all the things that would bring me satisfaction. So go enjoy life. Go, you know, make the most of it. And don't let people dictate what you should or what you should not do. What about you? Do you agree with me? How do you feel when you have this thing of like feeling behind in life? Let me know. And do you agree with me? Maybe you don't agree with me? It's totally fine. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I shall see you on my next